Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
What's going on, Cougar fans? I'm Dave Daimling here, accompanied by the women's basketball coach, Coach Lauren. How's it going?
I'm all right. How are you?
Pretty great. Before we kind of get into what's going on and what happened yesterday, I want to talk about a little bit more about CIT. Kind of give me the rundown for someone who doesn't fully know what that environment's like. What was it like up there in Ann Arbor?
It's special, you know. I think there's something about that. There's nothing else like it. A lot of times when you're competing at a high level, even at any level, you're not going to see crowds like that until you get into like your championship stuff, or if you're obviously like that top one or two team in different levels and stuff. So you go to different tournaments over the course of the year, whether that be near or far, and they're usually over breaks. You don't get that type of crowd, and so to see that crowd and play in front of it and that experience for our team. There's nothing like it. It's special. It really is.
That's awesome. So it kind of just gets everybody, the juices flowing, get a whole extra adrenaline rush a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's such a Concordia history, like the Concordia history in it. And for me personally, my college coach, and then he used to be my boss where I came from, he coached with the Concordia system for several years, and I think he won like 9 or 10 of them. Never told me, but when I looked at this job, he was like, "Oh, CIT," and he lit up. And then when I got here, I was told, "You're not going to be able to hear yourself think." And my first one was Ann Arbor, and I walked out and I got the chills, and I couldn't hear it. Like, we had to do hand symbols, and it taught us a lot how to play in an environment like that. But not to mention what it means to the people, the alumni that have gone to Concordia, all the years, all the history. I mean, it just speaks volume to when something's truly special, and that annual feel of that look coming up. Our girls get excited for it. It kind of be treated, our teams here are treated differently. They get to do that banquet. They get to get dressed up. They get to hear words from the pastor that can impact their lives forever, and then to go out and play in that court. I mean, all the experience kind of has a shape on them for their future, which is really nice.
That sounds incredible. Hopefully we can continue that legacy and just continue in years to come. But
rumor is.
Yeah.
Hopefully. ... So yes, we are hopeful, and we're going to pray for it because it is something that I think the programs that are invested and involved and want to continue it on really want to do and keep making special.
Okay, sweet. And then Cougar fans, of course, they can have their own impact by trying to make sure that stays alive as well.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll move on to the big win against Dominican, kind of get that tough stretch out of the way, and now climbing back up the hill. What does that kind of do for the program and sets the sights for the future? What does that kind of do?
So there's a lot of good energy headed now to CIT. We did some really nice things, and in our last couple of games, you can see that our percentages have been going up. Our team camaraderie is just something special. I love the girls. They love each other, and so you knew they were going to get what they earned and they deserve it. And as much as that didn't translate to wins yet, it did last night, and that was so for them. That was such a teamwork type of win. Everybody got in who could get in, and if they didn't, they did something that supported us, and that's what the embodiment of playing a team sport is to see what our ladies did last night in that environment. I mean, they had to battle through the game too, up, down, and I think we only led for about 3 minutes, but we'll take those 3 minutes and get the W. So I'm super proud of the girls for sure.
Of course, yeah. It looked like it was a complete effort from both sides of the ball, just super fluid overall. It was an important win in the Division Street rivalry.
Oh, yeah. And so we're hoping to make the Division Street rivalry like kind of what it once was. I hear that was a really big thing, and I know my first few years it was, and then COVID kind of happened. So I think, going into next year too, it's not going to have the CIT feel, but it's definitely going to have that big rivalry feel. And we had a good crowd there yesterday, a lot of Concordia fans, a lot of support just from staff, and just having our families there again. That's, we love that. We love our support that we get. It's cool.
Awesome. And then kind of want to highlight a couple individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Kalia, she's kind of second in points per game in NAC play, and then Allie McGregor is up there in rebounds. She's third in rebounds. Kind of how important are those players on a nightly basis, and how much are they going to help your push as you kind of get through the second half of conference play?
Funny you said push, because I was going to say push-pull, right? For everything Kalia does, someone else has to do something. And so knowing that we're all interlinked in understanding our roles and being the role that we're asked of, Kalia understands her role. She's maturing as a sophomore. Allie is a senior. She's on the other end of it. And so each one of these games is kind of one of those last games for her. So that's that push-pull in between, your mentorship and your younger players. But also, Kalia approaches the game in a very positive manner. She has a big passion for the game, and then you got that from your senior and Allie too, who knows her role. I mean, she hit a big shot going down the stretch, shot it with confidence. That's a senior type shot, and then that guides again for that push pull for Abby and Courtney and other people in that post position to know, okay, like that was cool, calm, and collected. I'm going to keep pushing her. We're going to keep working harder, and we're all going to get better here. So I think that's that understanding of for equally. It's kind of like Newton's third law, right? But I'm not great in science. But for every force there's that equal and opposite reaction. And so to see that happen and shape in our team is really important, but also shows a lot of maturity with our young group.
Yeah, that sounds huge. And then you take a look down the road, you got this home stretch of 3 games that look to be certainly winnable with Marion, Rockford, and Alverno coming up. Alverno is going to be that senior day. And then if you want to look through the rest of conference play, you don't even have to leave the state at all. You're going to have a ton of home games, and the farthest you'll go is Aurora and Rockford. Does that play an impact at all, not having those long bus rides? Or
Yeah, even looking at the schedule when we got it last year, it was, when you're looking at it, you're seeing a lot of long away games back to back to back to back. And whether you're young or, a veteran team or a younger team, it's tough. But being where we are, spending that time on the road, as much as it was tough during that, all that had to happen to get where we were yesterday, where we learned how to win. And so now having that experience, moving into games to come, seasons to come, and then being at home, there's nothing like that. We were saying yesterday, it's kind of like home, but not home, when we were there. So just enjoy this, enjoy that our fans are here, enjoy the support. And then just, knowing that we will be home and every game to us is winnable. We show up for the day and we work hard every day for the day, but nobody else played a game on that day other than our team and the team that we're playing, and that's what matters in the moment.
Good. So kind of taking that look to Saturday, what's it going to take to beat Marion at home? What's that going to take?
We already started looking at the things we need to look at as far as scout and, just things that they do. They're a team that returns a lot of people from last year's squad. They play a high-paced game, very guard-heavy. So we're coming up with our game plan, and today we're going to be able to watch some film from yesterday, and then have a good practice. And tomorrow we'll really get after it going into it. So again, it's going to take a lot of what yesterday was, and knowing now that level of competing and grit and passion and energy for those full 4 quarters, and holding a team after being on the road at CIT. So that's always a tough game to play, is your Wednesday after. And so luckily it was closer to home, but we kind of started off where we looked a little tired, we looked a little off, and then our best basketball was played at the end. We finished strong. We were on fire in the 4th. We scored, I think, over 20 points, kept them to 11. So I guess it's taken that momentum now right into Saturday. That's what it is. So, and we're ready for it. We're excited to be home. not just home away from home, right down the street, play in front of our fans, a doubleheader with the men's team, and just, have that full-on support for our school here.
Yeah, well, good luck on Saturday, and that's all I got, Coach. Thank you, Cougar fans, for taking a look at what we got going on over here.
And his hat.
For any more information, check out the Cougar Sports Network, and you can find it all on the CU Sports. Excuse me. That's all I got. Signing off, Dave.
We'll put a link. It's fine. Thank you.
We are women in sports.
We are women in sports.
Women in sports.
Women in sports.
We are women in sports.
National Women and Girls in Sports Day is more than just a date on the calendar. It's a movement.
It's a celebration of strength, resilience, and sheer determination of girls and women who have defied expectations, shattered records, and inspired generations.
It's a recognition of the profound impact sports have on the lives of women and girls, fostering physical and mental well-being, building confidence, and instilling invaluable life skills like teamwork, leadership, and perseverance.
We are women in sports.
For too long, women and girls have faced systemic barriers to participation in sports, from limited access to resources and facilities to societal biases and lack of representation. The playing field has not always been level. National Women and Girls in Sports Day serves as a crucial reminder of the ongoing work needed to dismantle these barriers and create a truly equitable sporting landscape for all.
We are women in sports. This incredible day observed annually is a powerful testament to extraordinary achievements of female athletes and a vital call to action to champion continued progress towards equity and opportunity in sports.
We are women in sports.
From the court to the field,
The track to the gym.
women and girls are breaking barriers and achieving greatness in every sport.
They're pushing limits, inspiring generations, and proving that strength and skill know no gender.
We are women in sports.
We invite you to join us in celebrating the incredible achievements of women and girls in sports.
Let's use this day as an opportunity to not only recognize the progress made, but also to recommit ourselves to the ongoing fight for equality and opportunity.
Let's inspire the next generation of female athletes and ensure that every girl, regardless of background or circumstance, has the chance to experience the transformative power of sports.
We are women in sports.
Yeah, not only was it a big game against Alverno, it was a really big win. They doubled the points Alverno had, just kind of crushed them start to finish. 86-41 was the final score. It was a very productive job by the Cougars to take like the little bit of the break they had and just translate it into just a really great performance on the court.
Absolutely, and in addition to that, the Cougars celebrated a career record broken by Allison McGregor, surpassed the 900 career rebounds, collecting 901s, his second career record. But in addition to that, there was a lot of things that went well for the Cougars. They had a lot of people step up. I believe everybody that stepped on the floor scored, so the Cougars really showing their depth on Saturday.
Yeah, they were able to really just kind of spread the love around so that when Michaela Ellis, who's been big for them recently, she didn't have a great performance, but there was enough players that were able to kind of step up then and just score a lot of points. They had 5 players in the double digits, and that just allowed them to kind of propel themselves past Alverno.
Absolutely, and looking at how that kind of translates a little bit to today, Allison McGregor not on the active roster for today, but knowing that there's many Cougars that are able to step up, how do you think that's going to play a role today?
That's going to definitely be a big role because if 1 or 2 players kind of gets in a slump, then you still have several that can pick up the slack and can contribute and help give the Cougars a good performance to get the win, hopefully.
Absolutely. Shifting gears a little bit, looking at the Rockford University Regents coming into Geisman today, they're on a bit of a skid. They're having a hard time, and statistically speaking, they're not great on the road. So the Cougars play their best at home. The Regents struggling on the road. What is that looking like as the Regents are really desperate to get this win here tonight?
Well, like you said, the Regents, they're really struggling on the road. They lost 6 in a row. So they're really hoping to come in here tonight and have a good performance by their starters and play some better defense than what they've been playing recently, and that will hopefully allow them to pull off the road win.
Absolutely. These two teams sitting neck and neck in the conference rankings. Cougars just above the Regents, but it's not by a large margin. Both teams still have the potential to sneak their way into the conference tournament if some things go right. So really important win for either side to be able to collect today. But Eric, as we get closer and closer to game time, what is the key for the Cougars to be able to pull off this win?
To me, again, it's going to be spreading the love and making sure that the people that need to step up can step up and that they can hit their shots. Because if you have several players across the board that are just hitting shots and making big plays, then I think the Cougars can definitely win this game.
Absolutely. My key for the Cougars tonight is being able to get that inside-out movement and get the ball into the paint. They had their highest points in the paint against Alverno on Saturday, and looking to continue that is going to be huge for them here tonight. Shifting gears once again, what's the key for Rockford to be able to pull this win?
I think Rockford's really just kind of up their defense. In their last few games, they've been allowing a lot of points, and their offense hasn't been scoring that many. So in order for them to win, they really need their defense to clamp down on the Concordia players and make it so that their shots are contested or they don't get good looks.
Absolutely. My key for the Regents is to slow the Cougars down. The faster pace that the Cougars can play and the more that they can play their style, the better the Cougars are. So if the Regents can slow them down a little bit and make them play their style of game, I think we're going to see success for Rockford.
Yeah.
As we get ready for tip-off, we're near 2.5 minutes away. We're going to send things back up to the booth before we get ready, but 2.5 minutes and we're going to have anthem and lineups, and Eric and I are going to be on the call as we get ready for a nail-biter here inside Geisman tonight. But don't go anywhere. We'll be back here shortly on the Cougar Sports Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network as we get ready to kick things off here. A tip-off between the Rockford University Regents and your Concordia University Chicago Cougars. Kayla McLeod here on the call, joined by Eric Perry as the Cougars win the tip and get things started here.
Yeah, Cougars looking for their 4th straight win here tonight, hoping that it'll be a repeat performance like the one against Alverno.
Ellis with a little spin around jumper, no good. Her real sweet spot there is that turnaround jumper, especially just outside the paint. So a rare miss for the graduate student from Concordia.
Yeah, when it comes to shots like those, she's usually almost automatic.
As they're going to catch Allie Wintemute on the foul there and give the Cougars the ball back. Starting lineup here for the Cougars, number 4, Michaela Ellis, number 22, Lindley Southern, number 24, Kalia Reed, number 25, Anaya Hinton-Henry, and number 31, Abby Kulig. A pretty familiar lineup here as a missed 3 there from Kalia Reed. For the Regents, number 1, Allie Wintemute, number 22, Jocelyn Callahan, number 24, Alyssa Havard, number 25, Nia Wilkerson, and number 32, Katie Paredes, as that one inside and out. And we're seeing a lot of near misses here, some really good looks that are just simply not falling.
Yeah, both teams have had some pretty good shots that they've been on. They've just haven't gone in for one reason or another. That 3 went in and out. 3 by CUC was a close miss.
And Ellis is going to be the one to break that streak and put the first points in. My favorite phrase to say, the Cougs strike first.
And now they're just hoping they can continue it going with their good defense performance here.
As they feed inside, and a miss there from Paredes. Ellis coming down the other way.
Yeah, Paredes was trying to get it up around the arms of Abby Kulig, but unfortunately just didn't get the right angle.
Another 3 from Ellis just off the back iron. Looked like Ellis was feeling herself there in that same sweet spot, but unable to get that one to fall. So Wintemute now bringing the ball down the floor.
Yeah, Ellis saw that first one going. She thought, all right, I will try that one again.
Here's Wilkerson over to Wintemute. Kicks back out. Callahan finding her way into the paint on the left side, gets the floater up and in for the senior from Belvedere.
And that's kind of where these two teams differ. Rockford's a very older team. They've got a lot of seniors and juniors and grad students. Meanwhile, CUC's a pretty young team, primarily freshmen and sophomores.
Absolutely. You've got a little bit of that older leadership in Michaela Ellis, and you see it quite a lot with her, as Kulig with a nice strong take there. Southern, couple dribbles in. Ellis there telling her defense or her offense to settle a little bit, kind of again like what we were talking about, that experience and slowing things down, and the miss from Lindley Southern going to give a shot clock violation. But yeah, a really young team that is kind of led by the one graduate student.
Yeah, when they've needed like big moments out of her, she's been able to provide them with that and a good sense of leadership to ground the team.
A step back jumper, I believe that was blocked by Abby Kulig. I think she might have gotten a piece on it, but Paredes chasing after the rebound on that as well, and it's going to stay with the Regents.
Yeah, it definitely looked like Kulig got at least a finger on that shot there.
Paredes up top, kicks over to Wilkerson. Excuse me, to Havard. And now the shot for Callahan, no good. Kulig with the rebound.
Concordia defense playing pretty well here tonight. Only 1 bucket made for Rockford here in the first 3 minutes.
We're seeing a little bit of a slower pace from the Cougars in their matchup with Alverno. They really capitalized on a full court pressure and being able to run the ball as quickly as possible. We're seeing some slower things. We're not seeing that full court pressure as intensely as we were against Alverno, and it's really kind of resulting in a slow style here as Kalia Reed pulls for 3, and bingo, bango, bongo, she gets it.
Big 3 by Reed puts the Cougar lead at 4 now as they're trying to keep the defense playing at a high level.
Wilkerson now with the ball, driving, finds her way inside, gets Kulig off balance, pulls up for a jumper, no good. Ellis with the rebound, coming down the other way. And in between the pass, Reed from deep, no good, just off the front iron.
That would have been an incredible moment if that one had gone in.
Here's Callahan looking to feed the ball inside to Paredes. She gets it. Instead, is going to get called for a travel. Paredes unhappy on that call.
I would say she looked back at our coach, was like, I do not think that I took a step there. I thought I was dribbling the ball the whole time, but from the viewpoint of the ref, she took a walk.
Couple fresh substitutions for the Cougars in Sydney Nimsicant and Courtney Schneider. Getting some size inside. Schneider looking to back down. Nimsicant pulls for three. Bingo, bango, bongo. Again, the Cougars are hot from deep here tonight. Not something we see very often, as all of the Cougars' points so far have come from deep. Regents looking to answer here. A mid-range jumper there from Paredes, no good. Offensive board for the Regents. Kicks back out. Callahan dribbling her way in. Batted around, and Anaya Hinton-Henry comes up with it. Coming down fast, kicks up to Reed. The feed to Ellis. Ellis. Battle inside the paint. Instead dribbles out. Nimsicant over to Reed. Reed for three. Another one! And that's going to force a Rockford timeout as the Cougars are unstoppable from deep here inside Geisman Gymnasium. Eric, I don't think I've ever seen this out of this Cougar squad to start a game before.
I don't think I have either. 4 for 8 from the three-point line. They've just been chucking them up, and 50% of the time they have been going in. Nimsicant came in, she hit a three. Ellis hit a three. Reed's got a pair of threes, and they can keep this up the rest of the game. Boy, Rockford will be in trouble.
Absolutely. A 9-0 run over the last minute and 46. The Regents are 0 for 4 from the field in that time. I mean, the Cougars just really showing what they can do. We saw them have a great scoring day on Saturday, and they're continuing it, especially from deep here.
Hey, you mentioned they had a great scoring day. They only made 5 threes that whole game. They were doing most of their work in the paint, so the fact that they're hitting the threes tonight is a very good sign.
Absolutely. So a quick timeout there for the Regents, trying to settle things a little bit. Looking for the feed in was Havard. Instead, a turnover. Reed coming down quick. Ellis, the kick out. Back to Reed. Reed thought about a three. Instead, driving in. The floater inside the paint, no good. Almost gets the offensive board, but Paredes instead a rebound for her, and the Regents slowing things down as Wilkerson gets Hinton-Henry a little shaken there and is able to break that scoring drought for the Regents.
Yeah, that scoring drought was almost at 3.5 minutes. Now that they got one, they're hoping that they can calm themselves down, hopefully hit a few more buckets to try to break into this CUC lead.
Schneider up top, handoff to Hinton-Henry. The look for Nimsicant was there. Instead, drives, looks to kick out to Hinton-Henry. A little bit of miscommunication there from the Cougars is going to result in a turnover.
Yeah, she thought Hinton-Henry was going to break back towards the midcourt line. Unfortunately, Hinton-Henry didn't, so that pass just went straight out of bounds.
Cougars a bit of a turnover-happy team so far, averaging 19.3 turnovers on the season. So something that they've been really good at limiting in the last few games, as Nimsicant pokes that one away, has a one-on-one, a little hesitation, up and in. The pump fake is working for the Cougars today.
And it's funny, over 6.5 minutes into this game, that's the Cougars' first 2-point make of the quarter.
And another turnover for the Regents. Some numbers here, a 3-on-2 option, and Reed goes for the three, and she got it. Kalia Reed cannot be stopped.
She's on fire tonight. That now makes her, what, 3 for 5 from 3. That's an incredible start to this game by Kalia Reed.
Kalia Reed has been leading this team in more ways than one. She's averaging 30.8 minutes. She's averaging 16.3 points per game. She's just a force to be reckoned with for this Cougar squad, as the Regents able to combat and put some points up on the board.
And the big issue that the Regents have had is in the last 4.5 minutes, they got 5 turnovers. They have not been able to keep the ball safe, and a lot of it has just been mostly errant passes and miscommunication between players, along with some good defensive plays by the Cougs.
Absolutely. You know, I was mentioning the Cougars struggling with turnovers early in the season, but the Regents also struggle with the turnovers, as we've seen so far today, you know, turning the ball over on foolish mistakes, simple miscommunication and things like that. But they average 18.7 turnovers per game, so, you know, something that they really need to focus on limiting here in the remainder of the game.
Yeah, they need to focus on keeping the ball safe if they want to get back into this game early.
Reed calling for the screen, instead passes over to Ellis. Ellis coming into the lane, kicks out to Nimsicant, back to Ellis, calling for a screen. Takes the screen. Gets the ball on her weak side, and they're going to call the foul here. Cougars now see a fresh 20 off of that foul. So really unfortunate foul for the Regents to make, as you've already played defense for nearly 30 seconds, and now you've got another 20 seconds up on the board that you have to play defense for.
Yeah, and Ellis was going to have a really tough shot there with about 2 left on the shot clock, so that foul just punishes the Regents.
Absolutely. Ellis out on the wing, kicks over to Reed. Can she keep it hot? No. Misses on the right side. Regents with the rebound. Coming down the floor now into the paint is Keating. Keating up and no good. Rebound for Grace King.
She had a good move to get towards the basket, but unfortunately couldn't get the shot at a good angle.
A pull up for Ellis off back iron, rebounded by Havard. That fast-paced kick up there for Washington. Washington driving in on her left side, gets some space, up and in. Almost in, excuse me. I thought that was rolling in. Cougars really pushing the tempo of this game here in the back half of the first quarter.
Yeah, it looked to me on that last Rockford possession, looked like Courtney Schneider might have gotten a hand on it and deflected it a little bit so that the shot wasn't able to find the net.
The kick out to Schneider, over to King. Nimsicant on the wing. Feeds King inside. King, a turnaround jumper, no good. Rebounded there by Paredes. A pitch pass up into the hands of Washington, almost intercepted by Nimsicant. Washington misses it, has the rebound poked out of her hands. Unfortunate there, as Washington, I think, was the only Regent on their offensive side. They looked for that pitch pass up, but nobody followed with her, so she was in a 1-on-4 scenario, and unfortunately it was just crowded by Cougars.
Yeah, the rest of the Regents just didn't get back on offense and left her essentially an island near the Concordia basket.
6 on the shot clock. Reed driving in with the right hand, up and in. Kalia Reed.
Just a great play by Reed to break a little bit of the scoring drought that the Cougars had going, get this lead back up to 13 points.
3-second difference between the shot clock, and that block is from Courtney Schneider. The ball's going down to the Cougars. A huge block for CUC.
That's the second time in the last 3 possessions where Rockford's gone down, only to be met with a rejection by someone on the Cougars team. And this Concordia defense has just been playing locked down tonight against the Regents.
Shot clock officially off. Regents, 0 of their last 4 from the field, struggling to score in the last 3 minutes or so, and the Cougars have the chance for the last shot of the quarter.
And it looks like they're probably going to elect to take it.
And Hinton Henry has that one rolling in and out. 3 seconds remaining. The Regents pushing, looking to get it up, and they turn over. Nimsicant for the half-court heave, no good. So a little bit of a back-and-forth battle there, but the Cougars taking the 19-6 lead in the first quarter. A really dominant offensive production here from the Cougars in the first quarter.
Yeah, and it's come off the back of their three-point shooting. They've only made it two-point shots. Meanwhile, they're 5 for 11 from the three-point line. They've just been draining them tonight, especially at the start of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's not something that we see too often from the Cougars, especially to start the game. So coming alive early is going to be huge, and keeping up with that momentum is going to be key. But as both teams take a short break between the quarter, we're going to take a quick one as well. So don't go anywhere. The Cougs are hot here on the Cougar Sports Network. Here on the Cougar Sports Network, Regents start off with the ball. Washington going to work and is going to get fouled early from Kulig.
And we're about to see the first free throws of the game by either team. First quarter was relatively pretty clean basketball. Had 3 fouls by Rockford and none by the Cougars. So taking the first shots from the charity stripe.
Excuse me, that foul was on King and not Kulig. So first free throw, no good for the Regents.
And the Regents usually are pretty good free throw shooting team. They shoot about 70%.
Washington makes the second and gets things moving. Lopez feeds King now with the ball at the top of the key. Kicks out to Kulig. Kulig thought about a shot. 10 on the shot clock. Backs down. Has that one up. I believe that it might have been blocked by Paredes. Seeing a lot of tips on these shots here.
And neither team's been getting a whole lot of clean, good looks at the basket tonight.
Washington really battling her way inside the paint for the Regents, showing why she's been the top dog for this Regent squad, averaging 29.7 minutes per game and 13.8 points per game. So we're seeing that as she's been consistently working there, just unable to get some of those shots to fall.
Yeah, she's been driving, been getting some okay to solid looks, but unfortunately for they just haven't been going in.
Nimsakant's three misses deep, rebounded by Wilkerson. Pitches up to Keating. Keating takes the screen, gets the look, looks to hit the pick and roll, but instead passes back out. Washington going to work in the paint, up and in for Washington. Finally able to get that one to fall.
Yeah, there's a couple close misses for her, but makes that one go in, and that's a 10-point lead by the Cougs.
Nimsakant driving on her left side, gets bumped. Kicks back out to Kulig, over to King, thought about the three. Has that pass picked off there by Havard. The fast break layup no good, but fouled by Hannah Lopez. So that's going to put Alyssa Havard at the free throw line for 2.
That was a good play by Havard to just watch the ball, see where the pass was going, and step in front of it to go down the court to create the opportunity where now she's shooting 2 from the line.
Havard, an 80% free throw shooter for this Regent squad so far this season, and drains that one with ease.
Rockford's now got this down to only a single-digit Concordia lead, hoping to break into it more with the second one.
That one misses off back iron. Ellis with the rebound. Ellis coming down the left side of the floor. Kicks over to King. King to Reed. Reed looking for some options inside. Kicks back out to Hinton Henry. Ellis on the wing. Driving in on her left side. Kicks back out to King. King feeds Kulig. Kulig in that tough battle. Kicks out to Hinton Henry. 5 on the shot clock. Hinton Henry has to get something going. Has that pass tipped away by Washington, but the Cougars have 2 seconds on the shot clock to get something off.
Yeah, they're going to have just enough time for a catch and shoot. Maybe a catch, turn, and shoot, but preferably they just want to get it to someone who can just grab it and immediately put a shot up.
As the lob goes into Ellis, a one dribble, can't get the shot off into the hands of the Regents, and here comes Rockford. Kicks over to Keating.
That was a good play by the Rockford defense to make sure that Ellis had no chance to get a shot up.
And Lexi Keating is going to be fouled there by Hinton Henry. And the Regents getting a lot of their points from the charity stripe here in the second quarter.
Yeah, they've got 2 of their 3 points from the stripes tonight, hoping to continue that trend.
As Keating drains the first. Keating shooting 64% from the line this season. Misses that one, but rebounded into the hands of Washington. Washington almost has that turnover. A little bit of a back and forth. The official thought about calling a foul, but I think it was just a general collision, so ended up not. The 3 pulled from Paredes, rebounded by Wilkerson, and Coach Lauren Martin unhappy with that little bit of a run there from the Regents. That was just some heart and hustle play there from Rockford, being able to get a couple boards and win some tough balls there. So understandably upset Coach Lauren Martin is.
I think she's probably said on that last rebound and layup by Wilkerson, there was no CUC player even close to under the net, so Rockford was able to just get the rebound and immediately put it back up for 2.
Coach Martin, one of her biggest frustrations is giving up a free throw box out. So seeing an offensive board from the Regents coming off of that free throw, something that is very frustrating to her, and continuing to let that offensive momentum gain for Rockford, not something that you want to see. The Regents now slowly creeping into this game. We saw this once a double-digit lead for the Cougars, now slowly starting to dwindle. And this game, as we can see, is going to be a game of runs a little bit. The Cougars went on an early run and were shooting hot from deep, and now they're starting to cool off a little bit. And Rockford really putting the work in and finding their way inside the paint.
Yeah, and one thing that the Cougars have struggled with this season is once they've gotten leads, being able to hold on to them and being a consistent team. So Martin's probably telling them in the timeout to just get your heads on straight, just go back out and play like you were playing it for the first quarter.
Reed kicks out to Kulig. Ellis doing some work inside against Washington. Kicks back out to Kulig. Kulig for three. No good. Washington with the rebound. That's a good look for Abby Kulig.
Yeah, it was a beautiful look from the top of the key. Unfortunately, the shot just missed, and now Rockford's got the opportunity to cut this to potentially a one-possession game.
Wilkerson with the ball, guarded by Hinton Henry. Has that poked away. Hinton Henry almost with the steal, and she gets it. A solo opportunity up and in for the layup. The Cougar bench fired up about that.
Meanwhile, I think the Rockford bench thought there might have been a foul by Hinton Henry, but ref didn't see that way, so Hinton Henry was all too happy to take the ball and run it down for an easy 2 points.
This is already squared up to be a very physical game, as that and one there for Deasia Wilson. Excuse me, Washington. What a huge, fantastic take. A strong finish, and we're seeing her at the free throw line once again.
Yeah, she's already shot 2 tonight. Now she's going back for number 3, hoping to complete the 3-point play.
If you're Rockford, that's exactly how you want to answer a wide open layup from the Cougars, with a great 3-point play there from Deasia Washington.
And like you said, this is now only a 5-point Concordia lead. Their defense was doing really good at the start of the game at making it so that Rockford had a tough time getting shots up. They need to lock back in here.
As a offensive foul there from Ellis is going to turn the ball over.
Cougs have been pretty good about keeping the ball safe. Only had 3 turnovers up till now in the game, but you don't want to give Rockford free chances, especially when they're creeping in here.
Keating bringing the ball down for the Regents. Feeds Wilkerson. And that ball is going back to the Cougars.
Think Wilkerson thought Keating was going to spin in towards the paint. Spin out towards the paint. Unfortunately, Keating went in, and so the pass just went straight out of bounds. Now the Cougars hoping to get their lead back up a little bit more.
Lopez bringing the ball down for the Cougars. Over to Ellis. Ellis directing traffic. Handoff to Hinton Henry. 15 on the shot clock. The look for Kalia Reed from 3. No good. That ball is going to almost sit on top of the backboard there. So dead ball for the Regents. Keating bringing the ball down now. Over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson had a lot of space on her right-hand side. Gets the offensive board, and the up is going to draw a foul.
Rockford's had some plays where they've been able to just spin past the Concordia defenders and get a relatively clean path to the basket. Unfortunately for them at the start of this game, even when they got the clean looks, the looks weren't going in.
Absolutely. So seeing some athleticism there from the officials, hopping up and popping that ball out. Officials for tonight, Joseph Foster, Johnny Jackson, and Dan Fisher. As second free throw here for Wilkerson is no good. Jump ball on the rebound. Washington getting in there for that offensive board, but Ellis tying it up, in a tight battle here.
Interesting stat. Cougars haven't shot a free throw yet tonight. Meanwhile, Rockford's shot 9 of them. So Rockford's are doing a very good job at driving and bringing in contact.
Cougars hot from deep, and the Regents hot from the charity stripe, as Nimsicott pulls for three. No good. Reed pokes it out, able to get the offensive board. Hinton Henry looking to drive in. Gets that one off. No good. And Nia Wilkerson with the rebound for Rockford.
That was a contested shot that Hinton Henry had to put up, and then when it got back, she wasn't able to pull in the rebound.
Rockford ball underneath. 19 on the shot clock for the Regents. Puts the ball in the hands of Washington. Over to Callahan. Into the hands of Wilkerson. Keating now. Feeds. Washington inside. Has it almost poked away by Hinton Henry. Strong take on the left side. No good. Board from Ellis.
Washington had a bit of an opportunity there when Hinton Henry went for the jump and went past. Unfortunately for her, she just wasn't able to get the layup attempt to go in.
Ellis driving on her left side, looks to step back, instead continues to drive. A little turnaround jumper, no good. Washington tried to draw the offensive foul. Refs not having much of it. Keating takes some space on the right side, gets past couple Cougars off the hands. Washington now kicks back out to Keating. Keating driving in on the right side once again. The dish under to Washington is no good. Offensive board for Washington. A one dribble with some space up and no good once again. And Ellis is going to get fouled by Kyla Wilkerson, but some heart and hustle coming from the Regents there.
There was a few great plays by Deasia Washington to just, when the shot wouldn't go up, get the rebound, and the shot wouldn't go up, so she kept getting the rebound and kept giving Rockford opportunities up until that foul.
21-17 here. The Cougars on a 2 minutes and 39 second scoring drought, and it's continuing to go as Nimsicott has that pass intercepted. And the up and in from Nia Wilkerson. Despite, I believe Reed might have gotten some fingertips on it, and that ball still went up and in.
Reed was able to make a little bit of contact, but the shot was so on that it didn't really matter as the end result. Ball found the net.
Nimsicott driving in, no good, has that one rebounded by Wilkerson, and the Regents have a chance to tie things up here for the first time tonight. A wide open lane. Ball saved there by Paredes. The kick over, Paredes for a shallow two, no good. Gets her own rebound. The kick over to Keating. Keating out to Callahan. Callahan dribbling in, has it poked away by Reed. Keating for three, no good, back iron. Ellis getting the rebound. Under 3 minutes to play here in the first half. Ellis driving in on her right side, no good. Almost has that offensive board from Emma Nickerson. Instead, Regents coming down fast at the hands of Lexi Keating. Hinton Henry has that one poked away.
Rockford was going down quickly on that. Unfortunately, they went so quickly they weren't able to all get on the same page.
Ellis answers quickly with a three of her own. If you give Michaela Ellis space, she will make you regret it, and she does here.
Ellis is just a great player that when you give her an inch, she will take a mile. She will punish you if you leave her open or you give her a good look. She will make you pay.
Cougars in some desperate need of some points, and the graduate student leadership in Michaela Ellis delivered just that. 24-19 here. Rockford taking a timeout after they went on a monumental run here in the first half, the first majority of the second quarter, but you know, the Cougars really needing to settle back in and score some points.
Yeah, hopefully that three by Ellis will allow them to just kind of settle down and lock and say, okay, we got a bucket, we broke the drought, let's keep the shots going in the last 2 minutes of change here before we head into halftime and go into the half with hopefully a little bit more of a lead and the momentum on our side.
The Regents out rebounding on the offensive boards. 8-1 against the Cougars. I mean, this game changer for the Regents has been their tenacity on the offensive end. We've seen time and time again them grab these offensive boards, and it's given them these second chance opportunities that they've been so successful with here in the second quarter.
Yeah, they've been able to just give themselves new chances to try and close the gap.
A little step back jumper there from Wilkerson is good.
This is once again back at a one possession game as the Cougars hoping to answer.
Kalia Reed calling for a screen, takes it on the right side, kicks out to Nickerson. Emma Nickerson driving in. Looks to kick to Nimsicott instead, hands off to Hinton Henry. A step back three for Nimsicott, no good. Into the hands of Kalia Reed. Kalia Reed bringing it back out. 5 on the shot clock, time dwindling down. Reed will pull from deep. No good front iron. Actually, count that as good. Kalia Reed says, I will do it myself if I have to. Offensive board, three-pointer, no worries.
Might not have been how they originally drew it up, but it ended up working out perfectly for the Cougs. They got the lead back up to 6.
Keating driving on the right side, has that one almost blocked by Emma Nickerson, but instead the high shot from the senior is good for the Regents. And nearing the 1-minute mark in the first half, Cougars coming down the floor. Reed kicks out to Nickerson. Nickerson pulls for 3. No good. Schneider looks to poke that one out instead, right into the hands of Keating.
We had a few minutes there where neither team was able to really hit a shot, and now they've just been trading body blows with each other as we're inside a minute here in this second quarter.
And Nickerson is going to get called for the foul here. That's going to put Nia Wilkerson at the free throw line for the Regents. 41.5 seconds remaining in the half.
That free throw is going to make Wilkerson 1 for 3 on the night, hoping with the second one she can at least get back up to 500 and once again get this back to just a one-possession game.
As she drains that one successfully, and 11-second difference on the shot clock and game clock, and Reed bringing the ball down quick for CUC. Kicks out to Schneider, back over to Reed. Reed takes the screen, steps back for 3, no good. Into the hands of King. King kicks back out to Reed, who's going to slow things down a little bit. Made that difference between the game clock and shot clock dwindle a little bit more. Now it's feasible for them to take the last shot of the half.
Yeah.
A double horn screen here. Coming down, Reed runs directly into traffic, can't get that one to go, and 8 seconds remaining. Regents coming down quick. Wilkerson with the ball, kicks over to Callahan, who pulls for 3, no good, into the hands of Paredes, and no good on the shot. So the Cougars are going to go into the half with the 27-24 lead, but we're going to take a quick break here on the Cougar Sports Network as both teams, actually all women's athletic teams from Concordia University Chicago, are going to step into half court to take a group photo. So as much as I would love to stay on the call right now and talk some breakdown stats, Eric, I have to go take a photo really quick.
You do, so we'll be here when you get back.
All right, well, we'll be back on the Cougar Sports Network.
I'm a CUC nursing student and choose to stand tall for healing at a university that places Christ at the center and embraces teaching students to live a life fulfilled by purpose and meaning. Concordia University Chicago's new Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree is an innovative and rigorous 4-year program that will prepare you to rise to the daily challenges of a rewarding nursing career and serve a greater cause. Our newly built modern simulation center features 4 distinct spaces: a skills attainment lab, multi-specialty intensive care spaces, a health assessment learning center, and a simulated home environment. Due to our close proximity to many world-class teaching hospitals, CUC's clinical rotations offer an abundance of diverse and real-world experiences. Learn more about earning your BSN at a Christ-centered university today.
Hi, I'm Monica here at Concordia University Chicago, and we're here outside of Concordia Hall. Concordia Hall is the university's newest residence hall, right on the edge of campus, perfect for students who want to explore the nearby downtown of Oak Park and River Forest. The flexible suite-style living in fully furnished bedrooms lets students choose what works best for them. Every floor is complete with a community lounge and full common kitchen, with a kitchenette, microwave, sink, and refrigerator. The first floor offers the Victory Lounge, connecting to 2 additional residence halls, with no shortage of ways to relax. You're also right next to an open, outdoor plaza, better known as Victory Lane.
So now we're here in Concordia Hall's suite-style dorm room, and this is a really nice place to just hang out and chill. And since it's so big, there's plenty of room to spread out and do your homework and just relax. So now making our way into one of the bedrooms, there's plenty of space in this room for you and your roommate. A lot of times students will move the desks so that they've got their separate study space, but my roommate and I, we get along really well, so we can just work together here in the same space. Sometimes I like doing art as well, as you can see by the painting here. It's a 16 by 10 feet space, and most rooms on campus are 10 by 12 feet. So it's really nice to have a little extra space to work with here in Concordia Hall. So this hall is super close to the chapel and the Kennedy Community Center, which has the new Crossroads Dining Hall, so the location is super convenient. And I really love the city scene too. The location here is the closest on campus to the Oak Park River Forest downtown area, which has a ton of great stores and restaurants. Speaking of the city scene, I adore the view from this lounge because you can see the Chicago skyline right there.
Concordia Hall at Concordia University Chicago.
Down through the ages, God has called and equipped people to make a real difference in the lives of others. To lead, to heal, to stand tall. For 160 years, Concordia University Chicago has been preparing the next generation of leaders with the wisdom, faith, and values to make an impact in the world, to share the gifts God gave them and answer the call to a life fulfilled by purpose and truth, to be living examples of what it means to live with Christ at the center as we serve others. Because at CUC, we don't run away from adversity, we go towards it. We don't shrink from our faith, we lead with it. We are teachers, caregivers, and musicians, scientists, pastors, and business leaders, unshakable pillars of strength and integrity who serve a cause greater than ourselves. And the world needs us now more than ever. Learn how a degree from Concordia University Chicago can help you be the pillar the world needs to stand for something greater. The only question is, are you ready to stand tall?
We are
women in sports.
We are women in sports. Women in sports.
Women in sports.
We are women in sports.
National Women and Girls in Sports Day is more than just a date on the calendar. It's a movement.
It's a celebration of strength, resilience, and sheer determination of girls and women who have defied expectations, shattered records, and inspired generations.
It's a recognition of the profound impact sports have on the lives of women and girls, fostering physical and mental well-being, building confidence, and instilling invaluable life skills like teamwork, leadership, and perseverance.
We are women in sports.
For too long, women and girls have faced systemic barriers to participation in sports, from limited access to resources and facilities to societal biases and lack of representation. The playing field has not always been level. National Women and Girls in Sports Day serves as a crucial reminder of the ongoing work needed to dismantle these barriers and create a truly equitable sporting landscape for all.
We are women in sports. This incredible day observed annually is a powerful testament to extraordinary achievements of female athletes and a vital call to action to champion continued progress towards equity and opportunity in sports.
We are women in sports.
From the court to the field, the track to the gym, women and girls are breaking barriers and achieving greatness in every sport. They're pushing limits, inspiring generations, and proving that strength and skill know no gender.
We are women in sports.
We invite you to join us in celebrating the incredible achievements of women and girls in sports.
Let's use this day as an opportunity to not only recognize the progress made, but also to recommit ourselves to the ongoing fight for equality and opportunity.
Let's inspire the next generation of female athletes and ensure that every girl, regardless of background or circumstance, has the chance to experience the transformative power of sports.
We are women in sports.
Concordia University Chicago is a Christ-centered Lutheran university where truth, freedom, and vocation form students for lives of influence and service for the common good. Our university offers a wide variety of undergraduate and graduate degree options that are available in person and online. That means we have a program designed for you. Whether you're a high school student, an adult returning to complete your degree, or someone looking to enhance your credentials and prepare for career growth. As a member of this university community, you'll also find support in your spiritual and personal life so you can grow in the faith and discover ways to serve others. To start your next journey with us, visit cuchicago.edu today.
The Cougar Sports Network. Kayla McLeod joined by Eric Perry. We saw a wild first half of basketball. The Cougars kind of lit things up in the first quarter, and the Regions kind of lit things up in the second quarter.
Yeah, the Cougars were hot in the first quarter, 5 from 11 for 3, pulled out to a 19-6 lead, and then in the second quarter, Rockford just woke up and the Cougars fell asleep, and that's how Rockford's been able to get this down to just a 3-point game here at half.
Absolutely. I mean, just looking at percentages in the first quarter, Rockford only shooting 23% from the field, while come the second, they're shooting 40%. And you can reverse that for the Cougars in the first and second quarter as an easy up and in there for Paredes. But in the first quarter for the Cougars, they were shooting 41% from the field, 45% from deep, and in the second they were only shooting 18.8%. So really we saw two different stories happening at different times.
Yeah, it was almost like there were two different teams out there for both sides each quarter. One team that was hot and one team that couldn't buy a basket.
As Lindley Southern decides to hop in there and tie that up to keep possession with the Cougars.
And one big thing that's been really killing the Cougars is when it comes to offensive rebounds. That makes their 4th in the entire game. Meanwhile, Rockford's got 10, and they've been able to translate those into second chance opportunities and points.
Southern inbounds to Reed. Reed pulling it back. Driving in on her right side, kicks out to Hinton Henry. Reed now driving on the right side, runs into some traffic, but is able to get the shot up and in. A good little floater there from Kalia Reed as to not draw an offensive foul.
Yeah, it was a great play to just find the perfect corner of the box and get the shot out.
Little bit of miscommunication there from the Regions as Callahan sent a hard pass into the bleachers, misreading that movement a little bit and giving the ball right back to CUC.
Yeah, and the Regions really struggled with turnovers in the first quarter. But then in the second quarter, it felt like they were able to all get on the same page and work better as a team.
As that one near misses and into the hands of Paredes.
Shot was almost at the same spot that Reed's shot was. Unfortunately, that one was just a little too strong and went off the rim.
A corner three there from Paredes is no good, into the hands of Hinton Henry. Coming down the floor, kicks it back out to Ellis. Reed now over to Kulig. Southern feeds Hinton Henry. Backing down on the ball on her right side. Kicks back out to Ellis, but instead intercepted by Callahan. Callahan coming down. A little 2-on-2 action here. She's going to take it all the way and can't get it to go. Ellis with the rebound, Ellis kicks over to Reed. Reed behind the back, crosses up, a floater up and no good. Ran into some contact there from Katie Paredes, but Regents looking to get things going, and Alyssa Havard almost went coast to coast without being touched. Looked to get a little back and forth, but instead had it poked out by Ellis.
Yeah, it was the quick series of just almost sprints down the court by both sides. Now playing kind of slows down a little bit here for Rockford, trying to tie it up.
A three there from Lexi Keating, and we have a tie ball game for the first time today.
And that also marks Rockford's first 3 of the game. Prior to that, they'd have been 0 for 7, but finally get one to fall at just the perfect time.
Ellis over to Southern. Southern finding some space driving in, has it poked away, but keeps it. A shot fake from Reed, kicks out to Kulig. Kulig, one dribble into the shallow air, and a rebound there from Keating, almost poked away by Southern. A fast break pass from Keating misses Havard a little bit. Instead, a turnover. Hinton Henry coming away with it.
And Cougars now haven't scored in the last 2 minutes, so they're hoping that this possession can break that chain and get them a few more points on the board.
Ellis over to Reed. Reed thought for a second, instead just pulled the 3. No good. Rebound into the hands of Keating. Keating coming down, no numbers with her right now. Kicks back out. Havard has her chance at 3, no good. Kulig tips that rebound out. Cougars slowing things down a little bit now.
Yeah, they're looking to get back the lead that they had for the entire game up until just a few minutes ago and get their scoring back on track.
Reed, some crafty footwork there. Drives in, can't get the shot to fall, goes for the rebound and gets taken out. I think she just had her legs kind of cut from underneath her. A hard fall.
Yeah, Reed jumped up there and then she just came down flat on her back. It looked a little bit painful.
Kalia Reed plays a very fast-paced and physical style of basketball. She's one of those athletes that's not afraid to get down and dirty and will do whatever it takes to get that ball. And she finds her way into some pretty narrow spaces.
Yeah, she just loves just trying to find just even the smallest opening, just sprinting into it.
Reed in some trouble there in short corner. Finds Schneider. Schneider kick back out to Reed. Reed pulls for three. Bingo, bango, bongo. Kalia Reed. A big-time three from Reed. Still looking like she's in a bit of pain from that hard fall, but when the Cougars need something going, she's sure to step up.
That was a great little play of improvisation there. Shot clock weighing down. She's able to get open and get the three up.
That ball poked almost away by Nimsicott into the hands of Schneider. Little back and forth. Schneider couldn't quite get her feet completely set before looking to dish it off to Ellis. So a turnover there from the Cougars, but shot clock reset for the Regents.
Yeah, Schneider was just trying to avoid the Rockford defense getting a hand on it. Unfortunately, on the pass attempt, she just moved both her feet.
The kick out to Wintemute is good for three. The Regents know how to answer.
They weren't hitting anything from three for the entire first half, and now they're 2 for 3.
We're seeing this Regent squad really come to life quarter by quarter, struggling to get things moving offensively in the first quarter. Second quarter, finding their way inside and able to get to the line. And here in the third quarter, we're seeing them come to life from deep as Ellis unhappy not getting the ball in the corner. A step back three for Reed. Can she keep it going? No, but Ellis on the move gets that rebound. A pull-up jumper from the free throw line is good for Michaela Ellis.
That's an offensive rebound by Ellis, which is something that Concordia has needed throughout this game, and they get a good one right there and convert it into some second chance points.
A three from Wintemute. Is she hot? No. Rebound into the hands of Ellis. Regents really just looking to answer what the Cougars are doing. CUC was able to have a good look from three, instead settled for that two. As Schneider takes a deep two, no good. And the Regents looking to answer right back with a three of their own. So they're really trying to keep themselves in this game by mirroring the Cougars, and they're doing a pretty good job so far in this quarter.
Yeah, they're essentially playing a game of anything you can do, I can do better, and it's allowed them to stay in this game.
As a beautiful step through there from Katie Paredes gets things moving once again. And we've got a tie game at 34 apiece with under 4 minutes to play in the quarter. Ellis pulls from deep. No good. Into the hands of Reed, but poked out by Havard. And we're going to see a couple substitutions here.
Concordia's going to have a full shot clock to try to make something happen and give themselves the lead back. They're just 2 out of their last 10 from the field, so they're hoping that they can hit a shot here and then hopefully keep the shots going through the last few minutes of the third quarter and into the fourth.
Ellis gets the ball into Nimsicott, feeds King down low. King, a couple dribbles up and in. Getting the ball into the paint is huge for CUC. Rockford subbed off Katie Paredes, so Cougars looking to utilize some space inside the paint now.
Yeah, Paredes has been a pretty big force defensively.
As that three misses back iron into the hands of Wintemute. Cougars being outscored at 20-10 on points in the paint, and that comes a lot at the hands of Katie Paredes and Deasia Washington, as both of them have been really strong inside for the Regents, as that one is blocked by Michaela Ellis.
Right as you were saying that, Deasia Washington went for the shot, and Michaela Ellis was just able to reject it.
Good effort there from Nimsicott to keep that long pass in, as the feed into Schneider is knocked away right into the Athletic Communications camera.
Yeah, that poor camera. It's really taken a bit of a beating this year, but, it will go on.
Holding strong is the Athletic Communications Department's equipment as that ball poked away, but Nimsicott recovers it. 16 on the shot clock. Cougars have time to settle things and readjust. Ellis looking for the ball inside. Reed kicks out to Ellis up top. 5 on the shot clock. Ellis, a step back. Deep 2. No good. And that's going to be a dead ball for the Regents.
Yeah, Ellis just was getting that one up to avoid the shot clock violation. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get enough heat behind it, so just airballed out of bounds.
Cougars with the 2-point lead here, under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Lexi Keating bringing the ball up for the Regents.
Two teams have just been really trading body blows back and forth recently. Neither team able to go on a consistent run and pull away.
A little hezzy there from Washington. Nimsicott going for the block instead. Bodies a little bit too much, and that's going to send Deasia Washington to the free throw line.
He's already 2 for 3 from the line tonight, hoping that these two can tie the game up for the Regents.
She successfully sinks the first of 2. And misses the second. Rebound to King.
So the Cougars will maintain their 1-point lead here with about 2 minutes and change left in the third quarter.
Nimsicott on the wing. Looks into Schneider. Schneider has some good space, but some tight defense as well. Reed back to Nimsicott. Schneider really wants the ball inside as a bit of miscommunication between Reed and Lopez results in that turnover. Both of them almost in the exact same spot, stacked on top of each other. Not sure who was getting that ball, but a tight battle, going back to that, Eric, a tight battle in the paint there from Schneider, but Washington was creeping on that backside, ready to jump if that pass was going to be fed in, so a bit of a risky pass to make.
Yeah, Washington was everywhere, just making sure that, like you said, Cougars weren't able to get in a good, clean pass.
As Keating drives in and has that one poked away, but recovered. Keating for 3, no good, back iron. And that's going to stay with the Regents. Going to get Courtney Schneider on the foul there.
Now Rockford's here. They got an opportunity to take their first lead of the game. It's been all Cougars so far tonight.
The drive in from Keating, no good, but the foul is called. King called on that foul that's going to send Keating to the line. A little 11-on-11 violence there between King and Keating.
Now Keating already 1 for 2 from the line, hoping to knock them both down and get her team the lead.
Tie game here off the first free throw. Rockford with the chance to steal the lead for the first time tonight, and they do not on that one, but Washington with the offensive rebound has it poked away by Nimsicott. King recovers it. Washington is everywhere on that floor for the Regents and grabbing every possible board.
Yeah, she's doing everything she can to keep this game close.
A 3 from Kalia. Reed bounces off back iron. King going up to poke that one away. Gets batted around a little bit, but it's going to go back to the Regents with 1:12 to play in the third quarter. Coach Martin questioning the official on that physical battle for the rebound between Keating and King.
Walking away, did not seem happy with whatever the explanation the official gave. But play continues for the Regents.
Paredes up top. She pulls a 3. No good. Nimsicott goes for the rebound, has it poked out by Washington. The kick back. Paredes again with another chance, and she gets it and gives the Regents their first lead of the day off of a big-time 3 in the corner. Cougars coming down, trailing for the first time. Ball in the hands of Nimsicott. Nimsicott to Reed. Reed looking to do something here. Kicks back out to King. King driving in, kicks back to Reed. 12 on the shot clock. Reed backs it out. A double screen here for Reed. She finds some space. A little spin around move up and no good. Rebound into the hands of Wilkerson coming down. Shot clock officially off. Paredes thought about another three from the corner. Instead, Hezzies and comes in, dribbling up and in for two. 10 on the shot clock. Cougars trailing even further. 5 on the shot clock. Ball in Kalia Reed's hands. And Reed will pull from deep. No good. And at the end of the third quarter, the Regents are going to steal the lead, 41-36. So a huge burst for Rockford. Eric, how did we get here?
It was just in those last few minutes in the third, Rockford, their starts just started falling, and the Cougar shots it was almost like there was a pane of glass over the rim. Nothing could go in. They just weren't able to get the shots to fall, and the Rockford defense was really playing defensive, was really playing well. They were able to just lock down the Cougs and making it so that Ellis and Reed and Nimsicon weren't able to get good looks, and that allowed the offense to have the opportunities to go down and hit the shots of their own to give themselves a 5-point lead.
Absolutely. I know we talked about it a little bit, but this Rockford team has really just come together piece by piece throughout this game. I mean, a slow start in the first quarter, only scoring 6 points, but they've reversed that in quarters 2 and 3, outscoring the Cougars by 8 points, and really coming to life. But I mean, first quarter struggling to get some points. Second quarter, they're getting inside looks, they're getting themselves to the line, and this third quarter, they're shooting great from 3. Meanwhile, the Cougars started off hot. They were shooting deep from 3, and they've struggled to pick up those pieces everywhere else.
Yeah, they started off incredibly hot. They were 5 for 10 in the first quarter, and then second quarter, 2 for 9. Third quarter, 1 for 6. We're hoping here in the fourth quarter, their three-point shooting can get back to where it was in the first, and it'll allow them to stay in this game and hopefully reclaim the lead and end up with the win here tonight.
Cougars looking to limit some turnovers as well, as 9 total turnovers so far on the day. Good chunk of that coming from the third quarter, but Hinton Henry going to get nailed on the foul there. A quick sub for CUC. Abby Kulig in for Courtney Schneider.
Yeah, Rockford's here. They're hoping to use this opportunity to increase their lead to 7 or 8.
Callahan kicks over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson will pull for 3. Hand down, man down, no good. Hinton Henry with the rebound.
It was a good look. Unfortunately, just wasn't able to fall for Rockford, and now CUC hoping to cut into the Rockford lead.
A handoff brings Hinton Henry back up to the top. Feeds Kulig. Kulig, turnaround, mid-range jumper, no good. Nobody down low to rebound for the Cougars except for Lindley Southern, so Regents coming away with that. Bit of miscommunication there on that pass, but Keating is going to take it, drive in, no good. Washington with the offensive board and put back.
And rebounds are something that Rockford has been able to just beat Concordia on. They've got 40 rebounds compared to Concordia's 23. They've been able to give themselves second chance opportunity after second chance opportunity, and then in turn make sure that the Cougars can't get any second chance opportunities of their own.
As Callahan pokes that ball out of bounds.
Cougars looking for an answer to the run that Rockford's been going on. I believe it's a 9-0 run dating back to the end of the third quarter. That's allowed them to build up a 7-point lead.
Under 10 on the shot clock. Ellis driving on her left side. Hezzy's up and no good. Gets the offensive board, but they're going to call a foul first and send Michaela Ellis to the free throw line.
This will be the first time we've seen a Cougar player take a free throw tonight. They've taken 0 thus far, while Rockford's taken 15 of them.
Something that head coach Lauren Martin has really emphasized on this Cougar squad is not only getting to the line, but aiming for 80% or better from the line. And when you don't get to the free throw line at all, it's kind of hard to shoot 80% from the line. But Michaela Ellis puts 2 in and sits them at 100% so far tonight.
Yeah, Cougs kind of struggled a little bit at the beginning of this year with hitting their free throws, but as the season has gone on, that is something that they've gotten way, way better with, and they're able to hit them at a way more consistent rate.
As that one is up for Wilkerson, but the foul from Kulig. Kulig looking to swat that one out of there. Unfortunately, just misses, but Abby Kulig leading this Cougar team in blocks. Has 13 total blocks on the season. but misses nearly on that one, and will send Wilkerson to the line.
Wilkerson was previously shooting 2 for 4 on the night. That's going to put her at 2 for 5. So she's hoping that with this one she can get back up to 50% and get this back up to a 6-point Regent lead, which she was able to do.
Lopez bringing the ball down the floor now for the Cougars. CUC trailing 44-38 here in the fourth quarter. Ellis driving in, pulls up from the elbow, no good. Rebound into the hands of Keating. Something we've seen a lot of, we've talked about it a lot so far today, is the difference in offensive rebounds between these two squads. But one key factor in that, as a driving layup for Keating is good, one key factor in that is we're seeing only maybe 1 or 2 white jerseys in the paint following a shot, whereas we're seeing a plethora of black jerseys there. So Cougars just not following shots and getting bodies in the paint to pull those offensive boards, and that's where we're seeing that struggle come in.
Yeah, it seems like every time a Cougar takes a shot, everyone else just kind of backs off and hopes that it goes in. As
that off-balance shot from Hinton Henry is no good, but offensive rebound, as we've mentioned it, Lindley Southern, the consistent body inside the paint for this CUC squad, able to collect that offensive rebound and draw the foul. So a lot of heart from the kid in 22 in white tonight.
Yeah, she's been just running and giving it 100% to try to get her hands on the ball and allow the Cougars to have some second chance opportunities.
As a fresh 20 on the clock for CUC. Lopez inbounding, kicks it up to Kulig. A risky pass, but Kulig collects it, kicks out to Lopez. Lopez over to Ellis. 12 on the shot clock. Ellis feeds Hinton Henry inside. Hinton Henry backing down, has her glasses knocked off her face, and an offensive foul called against Hinton Henry, I believe.
I think they called it a double dribble.
Ah, okay, nice. Missed that. But either way, a CUC turnover. As Callahan with the ball. Feeds Paredes. Back to Callahan. Cougar defense collapsing on the near side, leaving that weak side open, but a missed shot and rebound for Ellis gives CUC the ball. An open Anaya Hinton Henry in the paint with a no-look pass from Michaela Ellis. Gets things moving, and the Cougars trail by 6.
Hinton Henry was wide open down there near the sideline. There wasn't a Rockford jersey close to her, and she was able to cut this down to a 2-possession game.
As Kulig has that one knocked out of her hands after the steal, but Southern in there, and a massive hit. Lindley Southern with a pump fake and takes a hard hit. Lexi Keating jumping to get the block. Instead, completely bodies Lindley Southern. Southern looks to be okay on that. Abby Kulig still a little slow to get up at half court after she got knocked down on that steal. A very physical battle we have inside Geisman tonight, Eric, but great sportsmanship. Lexi Keating checking on Lindley Southern as just a misread there, but everybody up and walking and seems to be okay.
Yeah, and it wasn't one of those big intentional plays by Keating. She was just trying to make a play on the ball. And sometimes when you got two players, one player going up and another player trying to stop them, you just end up with some collisions.
As Southern drains her first free throw, the CUC softball team erupts. Lindley Southern, a dual sport athlete here at CUC, a member of the CUC softball team. So great to see her up and moving as she misses the second free throw. Keating bringing the ball down now for the Regents.
They're hoping to get this 5-point lead back up.
They're going to call Wilkerson for the travel there.
And turnover is something that Rockford's been struggling with. That's their 17th turnover of the night. Thing is, though, most of those turnovers came in the first quarter. And since then, they've been able to play safer ball. They've been able to not just give the Cougars 3 opportunities.
Ellis takes the 3, and she gets it. Michaela Ellis will take whatever she wants, and she will do it with class, and she is fired up as she cuts this deficit down to 2 for the Cougars. So a Regent timeout after the Cougars sparking a 6-0 run, but we're going to take a quick break here on the Cougar Sports Network as these two teams take a quick break, but It's a back-and-forth battle in Geisman tonight. Don't go anywhere here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, 6:05 to play. Cougars trailing by 2. Lexi Keating bringing the ball down for Rockford. Rockford been hot in this second half. Been hot all game minus the first quarter essentially, Eric, but Cougars looking to spark here as a deep 2 there misses from Paredes, and Cougars are going to take possession and have a chance to tie things back up.
Yeah, they weren't able to hit shots for a good chunk of that third quarter, but then they went on a 6-0 run, and they've got this down to just a 2-point game with a little over 5.5 minutes left here in the fourth.
Reed bringing the ball down slowly. Double screen, takes a step back, Hezzy, and they're going to call a moving screen or a double dribble. I missed the initial whistle. Did you see?
I think it was a moving screen.
Okay.
I don't think it was a double dribble. But no matter what, Rockford's got the ball back, hoping to make this a 2-possession game.
Regions coming down the floor now. Wilkerson with the ball, back over to Keating. Keating takes some space on the right side. The kick out to Havard for 3, no good. The rebound is going to stay with the Regions. And would you ever guess who was in the mix for that offensive board for the Regions? Deasia Washington. Showing face as she fakes out, hitting Henry for a great backdoor cut and an easy up and in on the left side. Deasia Washington is taking control for the Regions.
She convinced Henry that she was going out, and then when she cut back in, there was no one there to guard her. She just laid it in nice and easy.
Reed seeing some space on the right side, goes up. Paredes there to block. Reed can't get it to go, but a travel against Havard is going to give things back to the Cougars. I mean, Katie Paredes has been a brick wall in the paint for the Regions. The Cougars unable to get much to go over her, so having to kind of pull back or fade away in those shots, and we saw one of those from Kalia Reed, just unable to fall after having to shade away.
Yeah, you look at the stat sheet for Paredes, it only says 1 block, but that doesn't do what she's been doing tonight justice.
As Ellis takes a 3, goes down hard, and they're going to call a foul on Kulig. Ellis still slow to get up after taking a hit on that shot.
She's limping a little bit now, hoping to just run it off, it looks like.
Keating bringing the ball down for the Regions. 4:28 to play in the game. Paredes with some space, hitting Henry overplays, and that's going to be a wide open layup for Paredes.
That puts Paredes in double digits for points, and she's just been a very steady presence for the Regions, both on offense and defense tonight.
The kick out to Southern. Southern thought about pulling, instead goes up, gets hit once again, and is going to find her way to the free throw line.
Seems like every time Southern goes up, she just gets sent straight back down by a Rockford player, but she's heading back to the line, hoping to cut this to a 4-point Region lead.
Lindley Southern back at the line for CUC. Schneider back in the game as Southern drains the first. Four minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the game. Cougars currently trailing by 5. Make that 4 after Southern goes 2 for 2 at the charity stripe.
Now Rockford just trying to cling on to the lead here, keep the Cougar comeback at bay with just some shots of their own. They've been hitting them pretty well, hoping to keep that up here in the waning moments of this game.
Keating drives in, shut down by Schneider. Schneider gets a hand on it, but Washington recovers it. Washington with a little hezzy, and Ellis is going to get called on the foul.
Ellis took a set to argue her case to the ref, saying that was a clean shot, but he saw otherwise, and now Washington's shooting free throws, 6 and 7.
Seems as though Lindley Southern was hit for that foul, not Michaela Ellis. So Washington drains the first one. Looks as though Lindley Southern came in on the back side of that shot and caught her. As the second one up and in.
Regents able to answer a pair of Cougar free throws with 2 of their own to get this lead once again back up to 6 with a little over 3.5 minutes left.
Ellis dancing around the outside, looking for someone to slip. Schneider up top, feeds it back to Ellis. Ellis looking for some movement inside, asks for a screen, rejects the screen, driving on the left side, hesitates, goes up for a jumper, and she's able to get that one to fall. Something that Michaela Ellis has always been so solid at for the CUC squad is being able to hit those mid-range jumpers, finding some space. If she doesn't have the space, she's going to create it. That hesitation, Keating feeding inside, has that one blocked, but they're going to call Ellis for the foul on Katie Paredes. But circling back to Michaela Ellis, you know, she's someone that can create that space, and we saw her do it just there for the Cougars.
Yeah, she's really good about finding opportunities to make plays and get shots up, and then if the opportunities aren't there, she'll improvise and figure out another way to get to her end goal, which is a basket.
As Paredes nails the first free throw and successfully does so on the second as well. We're going to see a CUC substitution in Nimsicott for Hinton Henry.
And the Regents haven't been doing great from the charity stripe, 13 for 21, but they've been able to hit him here down the stretch at the times when they need them the most.
Officially under 3 minutes to play in the half. Nimsicott, an open look, had it touched, I believe. Southern chasing after it to try to keep it in bounds, but unable to do so. So the Regents coming back down. Ellis not realizing the ball was inbounded. Has that one blocked by Sydney Nimsicott. Washington with the tough take up and in, but contact to Ellis has her going down hard. So a bit of a back and forth there.
Yeah, it looks like Ellis might be holding her face. Can't tell if she got hit in the eyes or exactly what happened with that play there.
Ellis remains down, and the teams head towards their bench, and athletic trainer Ank making his way out for CUC. Not what you want to see right now for the Cougars in Ellis going down, especially this late in the game, needing someone with that leadership to stay on the floor for them.
Yeah, and we have seen it previously in games. When it comes down to crunch time, Ellis is one of those players that she will hit the big shots to keep the Cougs in it and help them hold on to a tie or give themselves the lead. So yeah, you do not want her to go down, obviously at any time, but especially not here with 2:40 left in the game.
Looking on that replay, Eric, it does look as though Ellis might have caught the elbow of Washington as she was trying to swim through and get to the basket. So incidental contact nonetheless, but a hard take to the face from the graduate student. But as Ellis is still remaining down, we're going to take a quick break here on the Cougar Sports Network as we wait to see what comes of this graduate student for CUC. But don't go anywhere. 2:40 remaining in the game here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, CUC trailing 56-48, 2:40 remaining in the game. Michaela Ellis up and off the floor on her own will, which is great to see, but having a hard time nonetheless. So substitutions made. Reed coming in. A spin move up and in for Kalia Reed.
Reed was just going on instinct there. She was charging the lane and just busted out the spin move and was like, time to pull up the shot, and she did, and it bounced right off the backboard and in.
Washington with a tough shot with the left hand, backing down Hinton Henry. Cougars, if they want to get back in this in the final 2 minutes, needing to focus on shutting Washington down as Kalia Reed drains a three. Kalia Reed taking control of this game for CUC.
She has been on fire for the Cougars tonight, but like you said, it's going to come down to the defense. They got to be able to stop Deasia Washington and Paredes and all the big region players.
As Keating drives in and makes that layup, Cougars needing to get a stop on defense, doing a good job of scoring here on their offensive possessions, but they have to shut down the Regents if they want to see that come to life. A little hesitation, step back from Reed, kicks out to Southern. Southern feeds Schneider, but has that one poked away by Havard, and a foul against CUC is going to send that ball down for free throws.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, the Cougars can't really afford to go punch for punch with Rockford. They need to throw some punches, but then they also need to block or dodge the Rockford shots and get the ball back defensively without the Regents scoring any points.
Absolutely. The Regents 5 for 5 of their last field goals, so Cougars unsuccessful in getting a stop, and letting some free throws be scored here is also detrimental, but Cougars seeing some leadership come to life in Kalia Reed as she got those 2 quick scores for the Cougars, but it's really going to come down to it on if they can get some consecutive stops as an offensive rebound is given up. But quickly, 19 seconds on the shot clock for the Regents. Another offensive rebound, let alone a free throw box out that the Cougars have given up. And this is going to be, if this game stays the way that it is, looking back, those are going to be the things that the Cougars could have done differently.
Yeah, that's at least the 3rd offensive rebound box out by the Regents. And then when you're expecting that if the other team misses a layup, you're probably going to get the rebound. But the Rockford's been doing a good job of getting their own layups and making it, or missed free throws and making it so that Concordia can't get the ball back.
Nia Wilkerson missing her free throw there. And missing that one, but Hinton Henry with the rebound. Under a minute and a half to go, so the Cougars needing to work quickly. The kick over to Hinton Henry. Hinton Henry driving in, kicks back out to Southern. Southern quite literally running into Hinton Henry. A little bit of miscommunication as that one is almost stolen by the Regents. Kalia Reed keeping it, going to work, a little spin move, off balance jumper, no good. Rebound from Washington.
At this point, if you're the Cougs, you're just going all out on defense, just trying to get the ball back as quickly as possible. There's now less than a minute here to go in the game.
Cougars needing to get a stop here if they want to keep their dreams alive. The almost pick off there from Reed, and instead they're going to get a foul called against Abby Kulig. That's going to send the Regents to the free throw line. Not something that you want to see, especially under a minute in the game. In that situation, if you're the Cougars, you either don't want to foul and you want to force them to play offense and hold them from scoring, or you're going to foul early, put them at the line, and get the ball back. But Cougars fouling late in that possession, forcing the Regents to score from the line, but they burned a lot of time doing so.
Yeah, and I don't think that was an intentional foul by Cooley. I think they realized that there's not enough time for them to try to hack a shack their way to victory.
As another offensive board off of a free throw is into the hands of Deasia Washington, and she's going to get fouled yet again and get herself to the line. So 2 missed free throws from Paredes, but Washington is going to have her opportunity here at the charity stripe.
And here down the stretch, just the Concordia box-out defense has been what's failing them. That makes, I think, the 5th straight missed free throw for Rockford. Concordia's been allowing missed shots, but then they just haven't been able to get the rebounds themselves, and that's what allowing Rockford to have 2nd and 3rd chances.
So a timeout from Coach Lauren Martin, unhappy with this team. Once up by double digits, now trailing by 9 in the final minute of play. So Cougars looking to get things going here. Eric, 43.2 seconds remaining. Who are you putting the ball into the hands of if you're the Cougars?
I mean, if Michaela Ellis can't come back into the game, obviously, I'm putting it into the hands of Kalia Reed and being like, listen, you're 6 for 15 from 3. It's time for you to chuck up a few more, and we got to hope that these go in and allow us to stay in the game.
Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. Kalia Reed needs to be your offensive production here. But on that same note, the Cougars need to create that space for her, and they need to be in the paint to rebound should she miss and be able to give her consecutive opportunities. Cougars really struggling on the offensive boards today. We've talked about it quite a bit, but 6 offensive boards for the Cougars compared to the region's 17. So it's going to be huge and a big key for the CUC team to get some offensive boards in this final minute.
Yeah, here in the last 43 seconds, you just got to be aggressive. You just have to play like you have nothing left and that fouls don't matter. You got to just go for every single ball that's in the air and just try to fight it away from the region's players.
As that ball inbounding is deflected by Wilkerson, and the Regents take possession, and a quick foul there from the Cougars. An unfortunate scenario there, not something that you were hoping to see, the turnover on the inbound. Not something that happens very often, but nonetheless, that's going to put Havard at the free throw line for the Regents.
Yeah, the inbounds pass just wasn't able to get over the outstretched hands of Havard, and now burned 5 seconds of game clock, and Rockford's at the line with a chance to increase their lead.
Havard makes the second free throw, misses the first. Coach Martin taking another timeout, and the Cougars trail by double digits for the first time today. We saw this completely opposite scenario in the first quarter. CUC up by as many, and the Regents forced to take a timeout to regroup. Now the Cougars down by as many, forced to take a timeout to regroup. Coach Lauren Martin working on an inbound play here to try to get something going, but most notably seeing Michaela Ellis in the huddle right now. Still not sure if she will return to the court, but seeing her up nonetheless is still a good thing to see.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's good to see that the injury to her face or her nose, her eyes wasn't super severe to the point where she had to like leave and go back to the locker room. So it's nice to see that she's back out here, but now you're just basically drawing up a catch and shoot for 3 because that's all you can do to get yourselves back in this.
King inbounded into the hands of Reed. Reed, a step back 3. Can she get it? No good. Off of the back iron. Rebounded by the Regents. Southern trying to get some defense here. Full court pressure from the Cougars. Get the trap in the back court. Pitches the ball up into the hands of Havard, and we're going to see a foul there. The Cougars almost had the trap in the back court, but the Regents able to throw the ball up the court and get themselves out of it and to the charity stripe where Havard will shoot 2.
Yeah, Cougs almost had the 8-second violation there, but Regents were able to get the ball out, get it over the half-court line, and now increasing their lead with some free throws.
Havard 3 for 6 before that free throw and successfully able to drain both there. So 21.5 seconds remaining. Kalia Reed gets the ball, pushing up the floor. As much as optimism is my favorite thing, Kalia Reed missing that one. Offensive rebound from Grace King, up and no good. This one slowly getting out of reach as head coach for the Regents, Terrell Franklin, telling his team, do not take that, pull it out. A great sign of a great coach there for Rockford, but Cougars let this one slip through their fingers here in the final moments after a tough back and forth battle. This was 2 teams that had a lot of fight in them from start to finish.
Yeah, both these teams fought from beginning to end, and they had good bursts of fight. Unfortunately for the Cougs, their big stretch of fighting was in the first quarter. Meanwhile, for Rockford, once they got past a pretty rough first quarter themselves, they were able to settle in and be very consistent across the second, third, and fourth quarters.
Absolutely. To end this game, the Regents went on a 7-0 run. Meanwhile, the Cougars on a scoring drought of 2 minutes just made it a really tough battle there at the end, but a lot of back and forth. I mean, seeing some categories here that are mirroring each other, but notably the Regents 18 of 33 from the free throw line. The Cougars 5 for 6. So Cougars not getting themselves to the charity stripe nearly as much as they would like to, and the Regents really taking advantage of that, shooting 55% from the line, and in turn looking at some turnovers. Regents, 18 turnovers to the Cougars 3. So I talked about it a little bit earlier, but the Cougars really needed to limit their turnovers, and in comparison, they did, and they capitalized on their on the Regents' turnovers in turn. 20 points off of turnovers for the Cougars. So a lot of good things there for CUC, but I hate to say it, Eric. We've said it 100 times on this broadcast, I feel like, but those offensive boards really was the difference maker. Rockford, 18 offensive rebounds. Cougars, 7.
Yeah, that's 11 more chances for Rockford to make something happen, to score points. And even if you don't score on every single one of those, if you only get 50%, then that's 10 points. And considering this was a 12-point game, that those offensive rebounds could have have been the difference maker.
Absolutely. I mean, the Cougars played a complete game all around elsewhere. They had 12 steals compared to the Regents 5, 3 blocks compared to the Regents 1, 10 fast break points compared to the Regents 6, but in the paint, the Regents dominated, 34 points compared to the CUC 16, but we kind of saw that coming. We knew that the Cougars were going to need to find different ways to score, as Rockford had some lockdown defense inside the paint, and it forced the Cougars to score elsewhere. And the first quarter for CUC, they were hot from deep, and they just couldn't ultimately continue to keep shooting that hot.
Yeah, when you're shooting that great from 3, it's kind of hard to sustain throughout a game. You hope you can, but as we saw in the case of the Cougs tonight, they weren't able to keep those 3s falling at the rate which they would have liked. And in the end, they started, I believe, 5 for 11, and then down the stretch, they went 5 for 19 to end the game.
Absolutely. Well, an unfortunate sight for Cougar fans, but on the flip side, the Regents going home happy, breaking their 6-game losing streak and breaking a little bit of a struggle on the road, now jumping to 2-8 on the road, jumping to 3-9 in the conference. Meanwhile, the Cougars falling to 3-9 in the conference. So some tight races here, but overall, it was a hard-fought battle that we saw physical from start to finish.
Yeah, one thing you can't deny is both teams gave it their all. This was a vicious game at times, with each team just giving each other sometimes literal body shots when they were going up for baskets. And yeah, in the end, it was just the Regents that were able to use the physicality to get themselves to the line, where they were able to shoot 33 free throws and help get themselves a lead that ended up pulling them to victory with a 12-point win.
Well, that about does it for us here on the Cougar Sports Network. Wanting to give a shout out to everybody that made today's broadcast possible, running everything for us today. We had Sydney Lloyd on production, the graduate assistant for CUC. Down spotting stats was Dave Dimling. Operating the scoreboard for us was Danielle Burke. Shot clock, Stephen Burke. Scorebook, Terry McLeod on the PA. The legendary Hall of Famer, Jim Egan. Running camera for us was Emily Lucero and Jalen Franklin. Sasha Gonzalez running around taking some photos within the gym for us. And we're under the direction of our Assistant Director of Athletic Communications, Corey Welch. On the call with me today, all day, was Eric Perry, the wonderful, the fabulous, as always. And as always, I'm Kayla McLeod, running the show here at CUC. But Cougars fall to the Regents. They'll be back in action on Wednesday as they head over to Aurora for a 5 p.m. start time. A little bit of a different start time, as they've got a doubleheader with the men at Aurora. But Eric, as always, thank you for joining me. And an unfortunate day here inside Geisman Gymnasium, but for once, for always, roll Cougs.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.